Hello, and welcome to Viewpoints, Dominion DMS's video podcast series where we highlight our vendor partners. I'm Sharon Kitzman, president of Dominion DMS, and with us today we have Rudy Leyva. He is the head of enterprise divisions for ProsPay. Rudy, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here today.
Excellent. It's a pleasure being with you as well. Tell us a little bit about yourself and ProsPay, your company.
Absolutely. So as far as myself, I've been in the payment space now for the last 12 years, working directly with businesses to help reduce or improve their efficiencies when it comes to payment acceptance. And I've actually been partner working with ProsPay now for the past 5 years. But as far as ProsPay, they've been in the space long before myself. Actually been established now for the past 24 years here in South Florida. And over the last couple of years, we've actually been expanding into the automotive space and lobbying to bring compliant surcharging to the automotive world. So that's kind of where we are today with that.
Excellent. Innovating in automotive. Good for you.
Yep.
It's hard to believe it's already June here in 2023, but how has the start, or I guess almost halfway through your year at ProsPay been?
Well, kind of like you said, it's been going really, really fast, but thankfully it's gone very well. We continue focusing on bringing functionality and added value to our platforms, doing strategic partnerships and integration. And we're actually very excited to be one of the first surcharging product offerings within Dominion as well to help bring some additional value to the automotive space. So it's been an exciting time for us.
Great. So tell us maybe a little bit about some of the unique value that ProsPay brings to the payment processing space that dealers could take advantage of.
Absolutely. So for most automotive groups, the cost of card acceptance is one of their largest expenses, right? It's expensive to accept credit card payments. And thanks to regulation changes that have taken place that kind of allow now businesses to be able to offset some of those expenses via surcharging, it's where we come in, right? We've designed and implemented compliant surcharging strategies and softwares to allow the dealer the choice of implementing these platforms as a way of alleviating some of the cost of accepting a credit card payment and giving them the added choices of retaining some additional revenue on that end. So that's kind of where we specialize in compliant surcharging, basically.
Excellent. Well, dealers are always looking at ways to reduce costs in their operations, so that's great. You mentioned you're in South Florida. We're in South Florida as well. We have a lot of large dealer groups here in South Florida also. As I walk into dealer groups, I'm always amazed at the size and scope of their operation and just the number of different pieces of software and software providers that they use in order to drive efficiencies or give themselves a leg up against their competition. When you think about that broad ecosystem of solutions that car dealers utilize, and that many of those software solutions are looking to get data either from a solution like your own or certainly a DMS or a dealer management system like ours. Does anything come to mind of ways that maybe we could improve our operation and the integration platforms that we offer to our vendor partners in order to help dealers become more efficient?
Well, I think what you mentioned there is definitely spot on, right? It's a very broad ecosystem, but first of all, you guys are doing a phenomenal job as it is already, but having dealer choice top of mind is very important, right? Being able to provide these automotive groups with different services and functionalities within the DMS to allow them to be more efficient with their services and operations is of the most importance, of course. So having something like the Strictly Zero platform included there helps as well when it comes to recuperating some of that revenue. So the short answer would be dealer choice, right? Giving them as many choices as possible to help run an efficient operation.
Yeah, that's great. And then probably helping them understand what those choices are as well, right?
Exactly. That's definitely important.
Yeah. I saw on the news last evening that the feds are going to press pause on another rate hike, but all eyes are on what's going on with different candidates entering the election race and what's going on in the economy as well. If you think about how dealers need to be able to react and respond to the potential of rate increases or potentially sliding backward into a recession, what are you and your team thinking about as ways that you can help dealers either prepare for a possible downturn or take advantage of a possible upturn in the industry?
That's definitely something that we have top of mind always. And it's because the key behind all this is going to be flexibility, right? There's a lot of uncertainty happening, even around payments, right? One of the biggest challenges is the constant price increases when it comes to card acceptance, right? So that's one of the challenges for the automotive space that we keep top of mind. On the positive side is the fact that more and more solutions are emerging, such as ours, to help navigate these difficult times. So it's something that it's important to pay attention to, but more importantly, it's just being flexible, because it's kind of a difficult time at the moment, and we have to be prepared for those. So solutions like this ones, where we help recuperate some of those costs, are what we continue to focus on to deliver that value for our partners.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's constantly evolving, and we have to constantly be thinking about that on behalf of our dealers. At Dominion DMS, I think part of our value proposition to our dealers is that we should constantly be providing not only the best possible DMS functionality, but the best possible integrated partners to our dealers as well. As we think about where your solutions might fit into the 17,000 or so odd franchise dealers, is there a specific segment of the market that you'd like our dealers to know about who are listening to this podcast that should be reaching out to you? Or is your solution available to any and all franchise dealers?
Our solution is actually available to any and all dealerships. The one thing that I would say is that for them to be aware that having to incur the cost of credit card acceptance is not something that they have to do. Like we mentioned earlier, dealer choice is of the most importance. So letting them know that there are other options that could be explored, such as implementing compliant surcharging strategies to help alleviate some of those growing expenses, right? But our solution is actually a good fit for any of the automotives. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're a dealer out there that's listening and you're incurring too many credit card fees and you want to look at different strategies, ProsPay might be a good solution for you. Speaking of ProsPay, how would a dealer go about best contacting you and your team to maybe see a presentation or a pricing strategy for them?
Well, it's my understanding we're going to be within the Dominion ecosystem, of course, so they'll be able to reach us through there. They can always contact our website, right? So it's prospay.com, and we'll be more than glad to reach us out directly there with our contact information, email, phone number, and we'd be more than happy to go ahead and schedule a small discovery call and have that conversation with them.
Great. So it's spelled ProsPay, Prospay. And if you're a Dominion DMS dealer, as Rudy mentioned, you can always go to dominiondms.com and to our partners page, and that's sorted alphabetically. You can go to ProsPay and it'll link you directly to their website from there. As we close out our session today, Rudy, since we're in the auto industry, I know ProsPay serves many industries, but you're focused on automotive here today as well. Do you have a favorite car? Do you have a favorite car story? Maybe something that happened to you here in South Florida?
That's a good question, right? I mean, I love cars, of course. One that has always stuck with me because I've had someone ask me this once, right? And of course, there's many beautiful models and cars, but something that struck with me and to this day still sticks with me is as an immigrant child migrating to the States when I was 8 years old. It was very impressive to see a Chevrolet Corvette for the very first time. And till that day, that car remains one of my favorites. And specifically a 1963 model is one of my favorites. And I hope to add it and enjoy one day. But you could imagine an 8-year-old kid coming from Cuba, never have seen sports cars, what that looked like when you see one for the first time. It makes an impact.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great story. And Corvettes are obviously a classic for many people in our industry that love and adore them. Well, Rudy, thank you for joining us today. I'm sure all that you had to offer here in answering my questions will help dealers make different decisions about their strategies around credit card payment processing, and hopefully reach out to you and your team to get more information about ProsPay. Thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. I look forward to connecting with many of